What do you do if you are deep in the Appalachian Mountains, miles from the nearest road, and suddenly everything goes silent? And I think you know what I mean. The silent where there's no birds, no insects, no wind, and then you hear it. One, two, three. Very deliberate knocks, not far away. And you tell yourself, it's just another hiker until you realize there aren't any other trails where you're standing. Then
Mm,
something answers a long, deep, unearthly howl that rolls through the mountains.
okay.
Your flashlight moves around, carrying things between the trees, and you see a 7 foot tall, broad shoulders, covered in dark hair, watching you. There's no running, there's no hiding, just watching.
Okay.
So, welcome everybody to The Haunting Truth. This is another thrilling episode. My name is Jen, and as always, my hostess and the mostest here is Woo. And
Woo.
we are going to be talking about, as you could probably anticipate, the legendary Bigfoot.
Love it. Just as a side note, when you said, and there is a howl,
Mhm.
my cat, just came up to me and was like, "Meow," like right by my foot. Yes. Perfect timing, kitty kitty. I don't know if you can hear him or not, but he's like, "Meow,"
I can't.
right
I can't.
around. So my first answer to that is, what would you do if you came across this? And I was like, probably soil my pants
Yeah, I would
and
totally
then
do a
try and run
smoothie.
and hide.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, as always, listener discretion is advised. This episode explores Appalachian folklore, eyewitness accounts, cryptid investigations, unknown encounters, and many other stories and testimonies. So, if you are squeamish or you're not exactly sure, please strap in because we have some very interesting eyewitness accounts for you here. Now, as I said, for decades, hunters, hikers, police officers, and ordinary families have reported encounters in locations across West Virginia, of all places. Every year, thousands of people travel to Summersville, West Virginia to celebrate the legend of Bigfoot. But behind the festivals lies a history of eyewitness accounts and continue to challenge the explanation of this cryptid legend. So, in tonight's episode, we're going to be heading into my family's hometown, deep in the heart of Appalachia, where folklore, eyewitness events, and America's most mysterious cryptid collide into the Bigfoot legend, which is simply not a legend, but I think a walking monument in history,
Hmm,
in my opinion.
love that.
So,
So is he invited to the family reunions out there in West
he's totally
Virginia?
invited to the family reunion. Now, for those of you who don't know, I found this because I was traveling to Summersville, West Virginia for my family reunion. And one of my cousins informed me that the Bigfoot Festival is held in Summersville, West Virginia, either around the area, but this year it happened to be in Summersville this year, and they were super excited. So I was like, did you say Bigfoot? I was extremely intrigued. And
I
then I
love
was
it.
told that, yes, in fact, it is Bigfoot that he was talking about, and that has been a lot of sightings. So I strapped in for the ride as my family decided to tell me about these cryptid gems that they were discussing. So, as I said, all over the world, there are tales of a bipedal ape that is 7 feet tall, covered in hair, and walks on two legs. In the Himalayas, they call him Yeti. In the United States, mostly in the Northwest around Washington and Oregon, we hear them called Sasquatch or Bigfoot. And now it's branched out to about Florida, Tennessee, and most recently, there's been more first-hand accounts in West Virginia. As I said, I ran across this great cryptid gem. A shout out to my cousin Ronnie, as well as my cousins Donnie and Susie, who told me about the festival. And really, Donnie was the one who dropped the mic when he told me Yeah, because he's a hunter and was like, I've seen a ton of Squatch sightings in Braxton County. I've been talking to a lot of guys and they told me to be careful. And I was like, oh, tell me more.
This is the
Aw,
one. He was howling at my feet when you were telling the
he's
story.
howling.
And now he's
It
howling
was
because I
definitely
won't put
not
him
Bigfoot.
down. Yeah, no. I don't know. I got a big open window right now. It probably could be. We call him.
So yeah, there's apparently been a ton of sightings out in Braxton County at this point. So now you may ask why West Virginia. Now, as you know, in the rest of the world, there is a lot of population and there's a lot of encroachment um, in general. Now, West Virginia, more than 75% of the state is covered in forest. Thousands of
Oh, I
square
didn't realize it
miles,
was that big.
yeah, thousands of square miles remain sparsely populated. There's deep hollows, ancient hardwood forests, abandoned coal mining communities, and remote mountain ridges. And it's easy to understand why stories survive. Long before Bigfoot became popular in the late 1950s, Appalachian communities told of enormous wild men roaming the mountains. Different communities had different names. They called them wild men, they called them yahoos, they called them, you know, hairy men. There was several different terms for these men who roam the woods, whether they're folklore or just a misunderstanding of nature or a bear or somebody was drunk, you never know. It's
It's true.
been perpetuating for quite a long time. Now, there's been two documented sightings. And the biggest
Okay.
one, unlike campfire stories, is actually a very detailed witness account and from very reputable sources. Now, if Bigfoot truly exists, this would be the one time where it would be the most recounted. Now, when it comes to this specific location, it was Les O'Doyle, who was the person who went out and investigated this, and he is actually Midnight Talker Paranormal Group and curator of the Bigfoot Museum in Sutton, West Virginia.
Okay.
He's investigated Bigfoot reportings for many, many years now. And according to Odell, the greatest concentration of sightings are now near New River Gorge region, which is the southern third of West Virginia, which makes sense. It is one of the most least populated areas and has the most dense forest
Hmm.
and one of the oldest rivers in the United States. It's very rugged terrain, it's vast, it's uninterrupted, and it plays a very important ecosystem in the United States. And also, there's a lot of hiking and tourism, but it's all ecotourism. Now, with these being hotspots, as I said, the biggest compelling story was in October of 2019. It was Billy and Sheena Humphrey of Fayette County, only a short distance from the New River Gorge State Park. The story is pretty remarkable because Billy Humphrey wasn't a believer. 100% did not
Hmm.
believe. Did not believe in Bigfoot, didn't believe in the paranormal, actually used to ridicule people for believing in this kind of stuff. He is a lifelong hunter. He's a former U.S. Marine and a coal miner. And if you all know people who are coal miners, they're very doubtful. Everything is usually pretty solid in truth, and they have to see it with their own eyes.
Hmm.
Now, Humphrey didn't believe any of the sightings or people saying that there were sightings going on, and he thought it was a raccoon or he thought it was a black bear. And he was determined to solve the mystery. So he climbed out of his hunting blind and he started approaching the animal to see what was going on. He installed a trail camera and it was mounted slightly near a 9-foot clearing, hoping to catch whatever animal had been raiding his bait. So
Hmm.
he had a hunting blind. He was all set up because something kept stealing his bait and he really wanted to find out what it was. And he said, just as we said in the beginning, the forest went silent. There were no birds, no insects, no movements. And Humphrey later recalled texting his wife, something is eerie up here. There ain't nothing moving, and there's something really wrong. Moments
Hmm.
later, he heard something heavy approaching through the darkness behind the blind where he once was. It stood there for about a minute, he remembers, and then slowly walked around the blind and passed in front of the light. He assumed it was a bear, which, if it was me, I would
Okay.
have probably,
Yeah.
yeah, would have crapped myself. But something wasn't right. The light was mounted nearly 9 feet, as I said, above the ground, and whatever passed underneath was tall enough to cast a shadow across the clearing. So it was much taller than a black bear. that he had ever encountered. So he was unable to clearly distinguish the features. He returned home extremely unsettled, but unconvinced that it was something supernatural. And the following night, he went back and he actually invited his wife, Sheena, to come with him and join him in the blind the next afternoon. Yes.
Kudos to
And his wife
Sheena.
agreed.
We're talking about Sheena
So
the
they've been,
Jungle?
yeah, I know. That's what I said. I was like, I would have been a hard pass for me. They've been sitting there together for about 15 minutes when movement caught their attention, and without hesitation, Sheena quietly said, "There he is." Billy looked into the clearing and then said, "Who?" And she said, "Bigfoot." According to the Humphreys, a large upright figure stood at the edge of the woods briefly before the clearing and then disappeared back into the woods. And they managed to get a photograph in the distance of the figure, and you can see him peeking out from behind a tree. And it's clear as day.
That's
So
crazy.
I did attach the photograph underneath
Oh, I
so
can't
you
wait to
can
see
see it. So for believers, the photographs support another chapter in West Virginia's growing Bigfoot history. Now, for the skeptics that remain intrigued, but it's an unverified claim, I think that the photograph is pretty clear that it is not a bear. And it is
Okay.
not anything that you would normally see.
All right.
So the Humphreys experience is only one of many reports collected through the Mountain State. Now, one of the earliest frequently cited West Virginia encounters dates back to 1951 when a young boy observed a massive hair-covered figure crossing the Cheat River before disappearing silently into the forest. But did you look at the photograph?
I did. It's most definitely not a bear.
It is not a bear.
It is not a bear.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
If you're familiar with bears and everything else, and it is not a bear. I've been approached by more than one bear on an occasion, unfortunately. Now, decades later, investigators from the Bigfoot Research Organization, commonly known as BFRO, it looks like BFRO, um, began
Big
documenting
fro.
dozens, BFRO.
That's before
That's the
Bigfoot got
acronym.
before he had his haircut.
Yeah.
He was Big Fro.
BFRO. Began documenting dozens of reports throughout West Virginia. Now, among the most interesting reports, or notable, in 2007, there were sightings near Seneca Rock, where motorists reported seeing a large, upright human-like figure walking across US Route 33 late at night. And after interviewing witnesses, they classified the report as one of their highest confidence cases because there were so many eyewitnesses that approached them giving testimony
Independently and
about the
all around the
sighting.
same time. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and then in 2006, in Pocahontas County, investigators described hearing unexplained vocalizations, experienced repeated rock throwing, and brief observations of a large figure moving throughout the darkness. Now, I don't know if I 100% believe that one because if you've ever been snipe hunting and you know what that is, that your family has taken you on a snipe hunt, you know that they will throw rocks at you and they will make weird noises. I'm just saying.
Yeah. You said Pocahontas County and then unexplained vocalizations. I'm hearing all the colors of the wind in my
I know.
in my ear.
I'm going with a snipe hunt. You're going with the colors of the wind.
I'm going to colors of the wind. Maybe
Good
okay.
to
Maybe we
know.
do both.
Good to
Yeah.
know.
Hmm.
But I mean, if any of y'all are from Appalachia or have people in your family, there is such thing as a snipe and it is a bird, but that's not what my family took me to find. Okay. I'm just saying.
Is there such a thing as a snipe?
There is, okay, so my cousin David told me that there is, and I did look it up and it is real, but I was like, that's not what you all took me to find. Okay. You told me it looked like a raccoon, and then there was a lot of other descriptions in there, and let's just say I was there for hours,
Well,
and I didn't
I've heard
find.
of this. I've heard of the snipe hunts. Yeah.
Yes, yeah,
Kudos to your family for giving you that experience.
yeah,
I love
yeah.
that.
Yay me. Um, and they continue on with the tradition to this day with all the other youngins.
Of course. And
So I'm happy about that one.
you're gonna perpetuate that on your family
Oh yeah,
or
yeah,
nieces, nephews, and all those kind of things.
Now, it is important that none of these sightings were scientifically verified. No DNA was established on the existence of a Sasquatch, and it never has been. Yet, year after year, new witnesses come forward. Hunters, police officers, military veterans, families, people with nothing to gain are coming forward about these sightings. It could be mistaken identity, the power of folklore, but West Virginia continues to produce some of the most compelling Sasquatch stories in eastern United States. Now, that's what fascinates me. It's not just one, they're scattered across the mountains, different witnesses, different decades, yet they have the same things in common and the same description.
Mm-hmm.
Hence, we have the Sasquatch Festival or the Bigfoot Festival, which is in Summersville. Welcome back, everybody. As I said, we're going to discuss the Summersville, West Virginia Bigfoot Festival. So I'm super excited. It is going to be in October this year. So please go ahead and check it out. It is, again, as I said, it's held in Summersville. It was held in Sutton previously, where they have the Bigfoot Museum. But it began as a small celebration and has grown to one of the biggest Bigfoot, no pun intended, Bigfoot festivals in eastern United States. There are visitors attend lectures from researchers, browse vendors selling cryptid-themed artwork, books. They watch Bigfoot calling contest is a big draw for people.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoy live music and swap their own strange stories from the woods. The festival isn't presented as proof that Sasquatch exists. Instead, it's a celebration of Appalachian folklore, outdoor adventure, and the shared mystery that keeps people looking over their shoulders when the forest grows quiet. Now, Reddit users have attended consistently describe it as a family-friendly event, welcoming and much larger than many first-time visitors expect. But as I said, why West Virginia and why Appalachia? Now, the Appalachian Mountains, as I said, black bears can stand upright. It is a very vast expanse of forest. It is extremely old and it has a lot of nooks and crannies and hollers that people used to explore and don't any longer. And there is a lot of abandoned coal mining towns and railroad towns in these areas. So as people go on these trails and find these really old abandoned places, they are going to run into things that maybe they're not used to, which could be bears or other things that they could mistake, especially in the darkness, as something else. So I think that's why Appalachia is so confusing for people, because if you've never gone camping in this area before, it can be very treacherous. And animals do things that you don't expect. I never expect a bear to roll down the hill while I was running up the holler. So there's always a learning curve for everyone. So
they like
now,
burgers
why
too.
Sorry,
they
what
like
did
burgers.
What did you?
My one experience that I had with a bear, we were coming out of the Poconos, and for whatever reason, I had a plate of like leftover burgers because we were grilling, and we saw a bear like on the side of the road, and me and all of my genius thoughts was like, let's feed it. So I started flinging burgers.
No! Oh no!
Yeah,
You were feeding the bears.
was not supposed to do that. I don't recommend that. It was not good. But yeah, they came up right close. They like burgers. So just
Yeah.
so you know.
Anything that smells yummy.
Oh yeah, they were not good. It was dumb.
That's why my cousin, when they cook, their grill is like right on the side of their porch. So if the bear does come up, we can run into their screened-in porch.
Yes. They came pretty fast for that too.
Yeah. Yep. Yes, they can. Now, I think everything runs a little bit deeper though. So why does the legend continue of Bigfoot? And then how did it really come about in the first place? As I said, there's old legends of the Yeti, but in the United States specifically, the modern American legend of Bigfoot began in 1958 in Northern California. That year, Andrew Benzoli, a journalist from Hubble Times, published a reader's letter describing enormous footprints discovered by loggers near Bluff Creek. Benzoli jokingly suggested that the tracks might belong to a relative of the abominable snowman. What he expected was a lighthearted newspaper story quickly capturing the public's imagination. As interest grew, Benzoli and fellow reporter Belly Allen wrote additional articles about the mysterious footprints. The loggers referred to the unknown creature as Bigfoot, and the name stuck. according to historian Joshua Bluba, author
Mhm.
of Bigfoot, The Life and Times of a Legend, while early cultures had stories about wild, hairy humanoids, including the Sasquatch or the Stalis, First Nation of Western Canada, which is where the word Sasquatch comes from or originates from. In 1958, Hubble Times covered transformation scattered folklore into a worldwide phenomenon. The story spread rapidly across the United States. Newspapers reprinted articles, television shows offered rewards for proof of the Bigfoot's existence, and the mystery became a pop culture topic of conversation. During the 1960s and 70s, Bigfoot appeared in adventure magazines, paperback novels, documentaries, films, and was often portrayed as a dangerous prehistoric creature lurking in the wilderness. Now, you might think that was in the 60s and 70s. Now, in the 80s, the imagination of Bigfoot began to change. Rather than a fearsome creature, everything changed into a untouched wilderness and environmental conservation. Films like Harry and the Hendersons came out in 1987, portraying Bigfoot as a gentle, misunderstood creature deserving protection.
I remembered
So
that one. He was so nice.
he was adorable. He was the cutest
Mhm.
Bigfoot ever. But I
He
mean, they did get it right.
was.
They said he really stunk. So they did. They're very clear that he needed a bath. Now, today Bigfoot remains one of the world's most recognized cryptids, and according to Boz, the legend has endured because it became a cultural icon. Like vampires and werewolves, Bigfoot is instantly recognizable. He's a mysterious, hairy figure emerging from the forest. Whether viewed as folklore, a media creation, or an undiscovered creature, Bigfoot continues to capture the imaginations and inspire new sightings, stories, and festivals across the United States.
Mhm.
Now, maybe that's the real story, whether Sasquatch exists or whether we just need a mystery. And Appalachia, let's be honest, it holds a lot of secrets. There was moonshiners, there's lost mines, there's ghost towns, there's the Mothman, there's the Flatwoods Monster. We'll get to that at some other episode. And somewhere along those legends stands a tall, hair covered figure walking silently through the trees. Perhaps it's folklore, perhaps it's mistaken identity, or perhaps there's still places wild enough to surprise us, and that happens to be in West Virginia. So, Woo, please let me know your thoughts.
So I think that is great. I have two thoughts to add because you mentioned earlier that he was seen in various other parts of the US and
Hmm.
could be known under different names. So in
Yes.
Florida, he's called the skunk ape, and there is a skunk ape museum in the Everglades. So I don't know if he's the same thing or if he's related, but there is a skunk ape museum that you can go and they do tours to go find skunk ape and all of those kind of things. But apparently it's the same thing, stinks just as bad, all of those kind of things. And then one trip that I took to Colorado to Pikes Peak, there is a spot like at the base before you start driving up, they have a Bigfoot uh, footprint, and there's like a sign. You can put your foot with
Mhm.
the Bigfoot footprint, and you can put your foot next to the Bigfoot footprint. So I'll see if I can dig that out and share that as well. But yeah, this is a legend that is across North America. I'd be really curious to see what it's like internationally. I know we got the Yeti,
We
which you talked about
we did the
before.
Yeti, yes, and
Yeah,
that it's the
but
same thing where people consistently see him in the
hmm
Himalayas.
yeah,
And there's sightings all over the place. They have supposedly DNA evidence, but when that was actually taken, it was found to be either a bear or a dog or something else. Um, but I think the fact that the the narrative, the color has changed, but that's about it. It's the same
yeah,
description, same shape, same everything. You have to think these started so long ago before people were communicating widely with each other.
yeah.
And
That's
it's the
another thing that
same
I'd be
narrative.
curious to see, right? So DNA testing, which they did back in what, the 70s, 80s? We've come
80s, I would say.
so far since then. Like, I wonder if we
Yes.
could re-push that through and see what we find.
Well, I just find it interesting
Probably
that
show
it
up in your
seems like
family tree.
I know I'm not gonna lie. I did my DNA. There's a lot of Neanderthal in there.
I wonder, he will show up at your family reunion and be like,
He will.
yo,
If Bigfoot shows up at my family reunion, I will be so excited. But
you'll be
somebody's
doing
gonna drop the potato salad and run for it. I know that.
you'll be doing the festival from now on.
I know.
That's hilarious.
Oh, my whole
Yeah.
family will be like, "Hey, this is what we're doing. Instead of we're having the reunion, we're gonna have the festival."
I don't even think your family would blink. They'd be like, all right, that's what we're doing now. Okay. Sir, you, Mr. Bigfoot,
I mean, look,
you
they
need to
always.
bring the watermelon and the deviled eggs and stuff. Like
I
put
know
them to
they're like,
work.
"What
Like
are you gonna contribute to the family reunion?"
you
We
can't
always
just
have this
show up.
debate. You can't just show up with nothing. You gotta bring something. I don't care where you came from. You gotta
You
show
bring
up with
something.
something. Look, it's a requirement. There's a group text, and it's like, who's bringing what?
Just, you gotta rename yourself as Bigfoot and just enter the group chat under a different number.
It will be the only time my cousin Donnie actually chimes into the group chat.
Dude, do it. Set up like a dummy number off of like a VPN on one of those apps or something and just enter it as Bigfoot in the group chat and just start doing it. Be
Oh,
hilarious.
I will have to start thinking about that one because like everybody will be howling and they'll be like, who's Bigfoot in the group chat? I'm totally gonna blame it on my cousin though. I'll be like, oh, it's totally him.
You should. You should.
I
All
should.
right.
I
Just my
definitely should.
suggestions.
Yeah.
This is good
If you're
stuff. So,
listening, I
yeah.
appreciate you, cousin Donnie.
Yeah. So yeah. So when's the next Somerville? I missed this. When's the next Bigfoot Festival coming up?
October. October is
October.
the
That's right. You said October, and that's perfect timing,
yeah,
right before like
it
Halloween.
is.
All the creepy, crunchy leaves.
Well,
Mm,
it gets colder quicker down there.
that is true.
So
Are
it's
they
usually
closer to
pretty
like
cold.
winter? Like closer to that?
Yeah, so
Okay.
when I've gone down, so I usually go in the summertime, but when I've had to go for other family events, unfortunately, and it was in, I would say May, there was still snow on the ground, and we actually
Ugh.
got a snowstorm
Oh,
in May.
you might be able to track him if it's snowing come
I
October.
know, I know. In October, it's getting a little nippy, but it's
Hmm.
still a good, like, nice time. It's the beginning of October, I believe, so it's
Okay,
still a good festival time.
it's good. That's exciting. I'm gonna have to go to that one.
I know. I'm excited. So if you guys please listen to the episode, like, subscribe if you're interested, and please go ahead and visit my hometown and see what you think about it.
Yes, absolutely. And if you find Bigfoot, remind him he needs to bring something to the family reunion.
He needs to bring something to the family reunion. You can't show up empty-handed. I'm sorry. That's not how this rolls.
That's not how it works. If
No,
you're a guest, you can
absolutely
come.
not.
You can come, but family, no, you gotta bring something.
You gotta bring something. Yeah.
That's awesome. This is fun. I really liked this one. I like we're gonna have to add this to the cryptid file on our
Cryptid
channel
file.
because
Yeah.
you're getting quite the extensive cryptid file going on
I
there.
love I love cryptids. They're very fascinating to me.
And I'm gonna add Flatwoods Monster onto our
Flatwood is gonna
roster.
have to be the next one. So when I go next year, when I go back to West Virginia, I'm gonna have to see if I don't go back any earlier, I'm gonna have to do my research on the Flatwood Monster and take pictures. I
Yes.
mean, the only thing that you can see off the main road is, as everybody knows, is the plaza that has all the shopping
Flatwoods.
malls and everything else, and the nice truck stop. That's what I see when I see the Flatwoods
Ooh.
exit.
Well, you might be catching some
Enticing.
cryptid lounge lizards going on there if you're
I
gonna be
know.
looking at the truck stop.
Pretty much.
Well, this was a good one. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate it. And yeah, I'm good. So
All right. Well, please
yeah,
like and subscribe. Tell us your thoughts on it. Tell us if you've
yes,
had any sightings. We want to hear your stories. We really do. I'd
absolutely.
love hearing about like what happened. If you have pictures, please go ahead and hit us up and let us know your thoughts. And we will talk to everybody next week.
Yes, we will. Until next week, Seekers. Watch your step
All right.
and don't feed the bears.
And don't drink the water because you never know.
Don't drink the water.
Don't drink the water.
Bye.
All right. Bye.